What's happening, my friends? It's Gas Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Box Story. Today, the life and career of Lennox Lewis. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. So how is everyone today on the Friday afternoon edition of Cat Sports, the Box Story? Pulled right up on another weekend and some more boxing coming straight at us. Is Pro Box tonight? I'm not sure. I know this is the week. Somebody told me they switched to Fridays, but I'm not sure. But I know we got 4 cards this weekend. You know, we got 3 Saturday. One from Japan Sunday. Excuse me. The GOAT is back in action after a year out of the ring. Going after another division. GOAT is at heavyweight now. I don't know if she's going to stay there, but that's where she is tomorrow. Going up against Vanessa LePage Jonas for the WBC heavyweight title. Mike Mazik in the building. What's up, Mike? Juggernaut Joe Joyce gets Derek Chisora from London, England. And then we got a card from Massachusetts. And then we got the card Sunday from Japan. Title fight on there. So 4 big cards this weekend. Course. But you know, like I said, we can't get enough of it. That's not enough. So why can't we have 6 like we did a few weeks ago? But you know what? Next weekend is, right? The big August 3rd card, the one full of the main events. Bud Crawford versus Madrimo, Pitbull and Rayo. Big Baby Miller on the card. I think the other Big Baby's on it too. The original Big Baby and the other Big Baby. David Morrell on the card. Andy Cruz. Yeah, that's next weekend. Is right up on us, man. They came around fast, didn't it? Time is a-flying. But boxing is heating up, just like the weather is outside. That's what we got to look forward to this weekend. But today, it's the life and career of Lennox Lewis, you know. He had dual Canadian and British citizenship, okay? Won an Olympic gold medal, represented Canada in the Olympics. You know, Lennox was in 2 Olympics. He fell short of the gold medal in 84. So he put his professional career on 4 years in hopes to make it back in 88. And get another opportunity to go for the gold medal. And he was successful in 88, yeah. Won the gold medal in 88, beat Riddick Bowe on the way to it, yeah. And we were just so excited for that fight in the professionals, Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis, because they both had very good amateur careers, and they started out, both of them, red hot in the professional ranks. And, you know, we thought they were on a collision course around that time back in the 90s, but we never got it. That was one of those ones that got away. You remember the famous Riddick Bowe throwing the belt in the trash bin? We're gonna talk about that today. Yeah, but we never got that fight. But that was one that got away from us. Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. After the Olympic matchup, we just knew we were going to see them in there together in the professional ranks, but no. But we got Lennox and Tyson and two Holyfield fights. Who can forget the Oliver McCall situation? Where Oliver stopped Lennox in the first fight, then in the rematch, Oliver stopped himself, just stopped fighting and started crying. Remember that? We're going to talk about that. Yeah. Oliver stopped Lennox in the first fight and then stopped himself in the second fight. I still don't know what happened in that one. Yeah, the man just stopped fighting and started crying, man. Oliver McCall, Lennox Lewis too. Yeah, who knows? He kept fighting. He might have stopped him again. That was just a strange situation. First time I ever saw that happen, and the last time since. I mean, fighters might go back to the dressing room and cry after a tough loss or something, but Oliver just started crying in the ring, man. But yeah, we're going to get into all that today, the life and career of Lennox Lewis. But welcome, everybody, to the Friday afternoon edition of Cash Sports The Box Historian. And this is the end of another big week of boxing history. You know, that fire show. I had one of my best shows this week. That show we had on the Dream Fights. That was fire. I'm still talking about that. That was Tuesday. That was really fire. I'm gonna have to do it again in a while when everybody forget about it. Run that one back. Yeah, that was a good one. And yeah, next week we have another big week of boxing history. But appreciate everybody coming by today. Couple of the regular big-time Cash Sports supporters already in here. Mike Massey, Greg Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. And we got some more coming. So Lonnie Lee, he gets off at 2:30. He'll be here. Lonnie might sneak out early today. It's the weekend. Yeah. A couple times he showed up right at 2:30. So that's why I wait until 2:30. Get a few more people in here. But yeah, today is a big day in the JBT too. I was kind of busy. I don't know if Remo and Aunt McQueen was supposed to start their new show today, the Casuals at 11 a.m., but I was kind of busy. I didn't get a chance to check. I don't even know if they had it or not. You know, we got the Angry White Men tonight on Fridays at 10. The Friday Night Hangout at 8 p.m. You know, the Mighty Rise podcast at 9. Oh, BVO Boxing TV is at 8 now. So yeah, Friday is a big day. You know, we trying to take up these airwaves all day. We getting there. Got a few hours in there, but yeah, we are getting there. We just need a few more shows and fill in the blanks. But big one today, Lennox Lewis. He started out the new millennium as the unified heavyweight champion. Lennox did. Lineal champion, undisputed. Yeah, Lennox did all that. We're gonna cover it today. And got his gold medal, you know. Like I told you, he went to 84 Olympics and fell short, so he put his career on hold and went back in 88 and got it. You know? And got a fire resume too. If we have time at the end, I'd like to, after we do the profile, look at a little short profile on some of the guys, the subject of today's profile fought. Like, you know, at the end of halftime, we'll go over some guys that Lennox was in there with, like Holyfield, Tyson, Oliver McCall, fought Vitaly Klitschko. I think that was his last fight. Yeah, that was his last fight. Klitschko, he fought Rockman. Rockman stopped him in the first fight, and they had a rematch. We're going to talk about all of that today. The Bob father, Bob Arum. Yeah, when Lennox, after he won that gold medal, they were after him hard, man. But Lennox, he didn't sign with any of the big American promoters. He said he felt like a basketball player the way they were chasing after him, you know. So yeah, he was a hot commodity coming out of those Olympics. He won the gold medal, Lennox, you know. You are worth money after you win that, man. Yeah. Everybody wants your name on their product and everything. Of course, the big time promoters want you. But he had a very successful professional career, Lennox did. Very successful. like this JBT is a very successful organization. You know? Send us some $, JBT Network 1. You can send us some donations if you want to. Or support Cast Sports the Box Story. The $, CAS2878. Monetized now. $, down in the corner. Yeah, it's still there. They haven't taken it yet. Everything would be appreciated. Trying to get this phone line up off the ground. We can be chatting on the phone right now while we're waiting for 2:30 to get in. Yeah. Beautiful day up here in Baltimore, bro. Humidity broke. We was going through it was brutal for a while there. Okay, Ray Patterson, I'll do that. Yeah, okay, haven't heard from KQKC in a couple of days. Okay, yeah, I'll check after the show, see if everything's okay with him. Wow, hope everything's okay. I'll let you know. Yeah, RP, I can do that. Yeah. But yeah, we're right up on the weekend and more boxing. We had Friday night fights the last couple of weeks, but no, I think we got Pro Box tonight, but that'll probably be about it. And the Juggernaut, somebody's going to sleep tomorrow between Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora. Yeah, I guess the weigh-in is today, right? Heavyweight. Why do they even have a weigh-in for heavyweights? Just so they can have something to put on the record of weight, because you can come in there at 400 pounds if you want to. It's unlimited, you know? So I never understood that. But they need to address that weight bullying situation. I told you the remedy. 10% of your contract weight is as far as you can go up, and then the second weigh-in is not Saturday morning. It's right there before you make your ring walk. Weight bullying will be history. Okay, you won't have time to put all those pounds and stuff back on. Right? The boxing is looking good. Like I said, the big August 3rd card. Turkey Alley Sheik's first in the United States next weekend in LA. And I read somewhere that the face of boxing's team is ready to send that contract to Shakur. So that's good news. So won't be Loma in November, but maybe it'll be Shakur. Okay. That's the bigger fight, because I look at them two as the best two at 135. So settle within the ring. I was thinking that we would probably get it next year and get Pitbull or somebody in November. But if it's Shakur, that's even better. I'll pay for it. That'll be Shakur's first pay-per-view, won't it? Yeah. Wonder where they would have it at. Vegas. They both from the East Coast. Have it in Baltimore. Yeah, Tank haven't fought here since, what was it like? 2017 or 18. I was in the house. I think it was it Ricardo Nunez? I can't even remember. Yeah. But yeah, he stopped him. Yeah, they had a big Formula One race that same weekend here. It was a mess downtown. Had a Tank Davis fight and this big Formula One race that right down at this place called the Inner Harbor, right down the street. Yeah, that was a big weekend here. And I was hoping that he would fight Loma in November and pick up that second belt, and then Shakur would fight the other Ukrainian guy with the other belt, and then Tank and Shakur would be for undisputed. Wouldn't that be big? Top two fighters at 135 fighting to unify the entire division. That would be huge. But look like we're not going to get it now because Loma don't want to fight. But you know, if you don't want to fight, he needs to get up off the belt. Right, Al Booker? Al Booker is in the building. What's up, AB? How you doing today, bro? And stop talking about that situation. these guys like Bud wants to go to 168 and fight Canelo, but he wants to hold on to the belt, 147 belt. Come on. You can go to any weight class to fight who you want to, but give up the belt at 147, so the other guys can fight for it. And he gonna mention Canelo, what he doing at 168, And there are people that say, well, Jaime Munguia was a mandatory, but how long had Jaime been at 168? David Benavidez has been as mandatory for 3 years. But you got to blame the sanctioning bodies because it's their responsibility to force these guys to honor their mandatories, but they don't do it. They have the rules in place for boxing to run along smoothly, but they don't worry about the rules. All they worry about is their pockets, And Mauricio, he's bad for boxing, man. Yeah, Mauricio. His father, when he was running, he was a whole lot better than Mauricio. Yeah. Mauricio is just Mexican biased and, no disrespect meant, but he just is. Look what he did for Oscar Valdez. The man failed his A and B sample, still got the fight. And they're cheating and still got beat. And then they cheated for him and gave him the fight. Yeah. And then that one fight, it was in Mexico. I think it was like flyweight. The referee, that was really a knockdown, but the referee called a slip. I think it was Martinez, another Mexican fighter. The referee called a slip. Mauricio changed the referee's call. Now what's going on, man? Yeah, that's crazy. He changed the referee's call. And then look at Barroso. I think this was WBA. Barroso fought for the Golden belt. I think it was WBA. Fought the title eliminator. Still haven't got a title fight yet. Pitbull got the title shot. And what's with these guys coming from like Rolly went to 140 and got his title shot in his first fight at 140. I don't know how he had no belt at 135. Pitbull did the same thing. Went to 140, first fight, got a title shot. Now what about all the guys that have been fighting at 140? Wouldn't they deserve the title shot first? Like Barroso, who won the title eliminated. It should have been, but they're just looking at the money, so. But it's not right, man. But we still love it. But we can complain about it. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Sunny Friday. Oh, I thought you were going to say you was in sunny Florida. Now, Booker. Yeah, Lennox, the living legend. Yeah. That's what we're going to get into today, Lennox. Yeah. And I got the one. Remember the one, Oliver McCall? Remember that one, Al Booker? He stopped Lennox in the first fight. And then the second fight, he stopped fighting and started crying. I don't know what that was all about, Oliver. We're going to get into it. But I still don't know what it was all about. The dude stopped fighting and started crying. His team trying to console him. Here he is right there. See, I ain't lying. There he is. Crying. I don't know what happened. See? Oliver stopped fighting and burst out crying, man. Yep. Well, like I said, guys might go back to the dressing room and cry after a tough loss, but Oliver just stopped right in the ring, man. Yeah. Poor guy. And he had beat Lennox the first fight. Maybe he would have stopped him again, That was good and crazy. But boxing is still the greatest sport of them all, We love it. The Olympics, the opening ceremony is tonight, but it's actually started already. I think they had some soccer is going on. United States men lost the other day, I think. It was a situation, I think it was Wednesday night, but they had a riot or something. Some country's team lost and they rushed the field or something. I don't know exactly how it went, but yeah. They serious about their soccer overseas, man. I would never go to a soccer. Well, they call it football over there, but I would never You might find yourself in the middle of anything over there, man. Them people crazy about soccer. Find yourself in the middle of a riot. Well, you was in Denver earlier this week, okay, Booger. I know it's hot out there, just like it is, but it broke here in Baltimore. It is beautiful today. I stepped outside this morning. It was cool. I was like, wow. I was all braced up for the heat to hit me. Yeah, almost came back and got my hoodie. It wasn't that cool. Yeah. So we're gonna get ready to get started in a couple minutes. But the phone line is coming. Still trying to get it together, and we'll have that. Might drop it in the first half hour while we're waiting on 2:30, or at the end, drop the link, or put the phone line up and we chat about it. It's like my friend Jay Hardcore does it over in the Hangout. I was looking for the Hangout this morning. I couldn't find it, and then I found it. It had just went off like 45 seconds ago. Jay must have put his thumbnail up late or something. I missed the whole thing. Yeah. All of it was something else, Al Booker. That was crazy. Nobody still don't know what happened to the guy, man. Maybe he got some bad news in the corner before the round or something. Who knows? He just burst out crying. Yeah, but we wait for 2:30 so people like Lonnie need us here every day, don't miss too much of the show, and my regulars. And other people, since I said 2:30 now, some people just show up at 2:30 anyway. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but it's all good. Cash Sports, the Box Historian, powered by the JBT Network. Just boxing talk. That's all. Group of fire channels and just love to talk boxing. And you don't have to have a podcast. All you got to do is love to talk boxing. You're welcome over here. And by the way, next week, Monday, the punch of the week is going to be the cross. Then I'm running out of punches. Yeah. Going to be not the cross. That was this week. The overhand. The overhand, yeah. Kenny Norton had a good one. He couldn't miss with that overhand in that Norton Ali 3, man. That's what won the fight for him. But they didn't give it to him. Yeah. That was one of the biggest robberies in boxing history. But back in them days, it was hard to get a decision from a champion. I told you, before that third fight, Ali got that decision. The last time a heavyweight champion had lost his belt by decision was like 1945, like 40-something years. Okay? So back in them days, you had to take a champion's belt. That's why you hear a lot of older boxing fans say that now, because that was the thing. You just wasn't getting no split decision and stuff from no champion back then. Just wasn't. That make me think about nowadays, you don't even have to beat the champion. Just look at O'Shaquie and Conceição. You don't even have to beat the champion nowadays. But O'Shaquie said if he gets that rematch, he said Conceição ain't seeing the 12th round. O'Shaquie said they don't even have to assign no judges to that one. Yeah, Shaq said we're not gonna need any judges if I get that rematch. Then Robson is going up out of there. But they had Rob Robson twice against Valdez and Navarrete. So I guess they said it was time to give Robson a robbery. I mean, put the robbery in Robson's favor, right? So yeah. But man, that was crazy. The man landed 11% of his punches for the fight. He only landed over 10 punches in 2 rounds. Sometimes landed 4 and 5 punches. And man, when they said Robson Conceição and knew, I was like, well, even Tim Bradley would say, what are we doing here? Tim Bradley go against the decision. It's got to be a bad decision. Yeah. But today is the life and career of Lennox Lewis. Okay? Like Al Booker said, the living legend. Yeah. Lennox. And they called him the Lion. Lennox the Lion Lewis. That was his nickname. But let's get into it. Okay. Let me get on up here to my slide display. I don't need bare knuckles today because I already got it down. Okay. I was making my slide display. I got it a little mixed up, so I'm gonna have to jump around, jump up, get down. Oh, excuse me. Had a little flashback to an old rap song. Okay. But this is the life and career of Lennox Lewis. 2:30. Let's go with today's show. Some more people will be along. Okay. Lennox. Is that Evander? Yeah. Lennox and Evander. Music okay? Yeah, that's good enough. But how's everybody doing this Friday? Ready for the weekend? But like I always say, you better get ready because it's here. The weekend is ready for you. Right? Everybody got a big weekend plan? Anything special going on? Let me just check out these fights. I've been waiting on Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora. And that's it. And man, that big August 3rd card, man, I remember when they first put that together. Can you believe it's next week? This time is going by like crazy, man. Wow. It's next week. I got Bud probably stopped in Badger mode, you know. Bud is like Ali. Bud has got, like Ali always had something for everybody. Bud got something for everybody, man. The guy is just like that, you know. He's got something for everybody. I'm trying to get my slide display together here. Oh, there we go. Right there. Okay. Okay. The life and career of Lennox Lewis. Anybody come in? Nope. Okay. Now, Lennox Claudius Lewis. Okay. Now, he was born on September 2nd, 1965. Okay. Now he's a boxing commentator now. Okay. And his career went from 1989 to 2003. Okay. He had a 14-year career. And he's a 3-time world heavyweight champion, right? 2-time lineal champion. And he held the undisputed championship, right? Now he's held dual British and Canadian citizenship, right? And he represented Canada as an amateur at the 1984 and 1988 Olympics. Okay, and he won gold in the super heavyweight division in 88. You know, he was planning on turning pro after 84, but he put his career on hold because he wanted to get that gold medal. So he went back in 88 and was successful at it too. Yeah. Got the gold in 88, beat Riddick Bowe. There's Lonnie Lee right there. Lonnie Lee is not going to miss any of the show today. That's why I wait till 2:30. You know, people like Lonnie Lee here every day. Can't start at 2 ahead and miss all the show. And now Lonnie Lee is going to see all of it today. Except for like, what, a minute or two? Salute, Lonnie. I told y'all it's Friday. Lonnie going to slip out of there early. Didn't I tell y'all that about 15 minutes ago? And here he is, almost right at 2:30. Salute, Lonnie. The life and career of Lennox Lewis. Called himself the Lion. Okay? Now where were we? Okay, yeah, Lennox, he got the gold in 88. And we thought we was going to get him and Riddick Bowe in the professional ranks. They both had good amateur careers, and the professional careers they both started out good in the pros. And, you know, we thought they were on a collision course, but we never got it. That was one of those ones that got away, man. Yeah. We're going to talk about the Riddick Bowe and the belt and the trash can incident. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. But in his first 3 years as a professional, Lennox won several regional heavyweight championships, including the European, British, and Commonwealth titles. Now, after winning his first 21 fights, he was defeated by Donovan Razor Ruddock in 1992. Okay? Now, Lennox took over the number 1 position in the WBC ranking. And later that year, he was declared the heavyweight champion, right? after Riddick Bowe refused to fight him. Okay, excuse me for 1 minute. Yeah, that was 92. And we're going to get into all these fights. I'm just briefly touching on them now, but later in the show, we're going to get into all of them more deeper. It is him and Riddick. Yeah, Riddick, Lennox was number one, but then he was declared the WBC champion after Riddick Bowe refused to fight him. Refused to defend his belt against Lennox. So the WBC awarded the belt to Lennox. Riddick threw it in the trash bin. We're going to get into that during the show when we come to that point. Now, Lennox defended the title 3 times before that upset loss to Oliver McCall. Oliver stopped him. That was in 1994. Like I said, we're going to get into him deep. That was a big upset then. And about 3 years later, in 97, Lennox avenged it, in the rematch. Okay. WBC was vacant by that time. And Lennox got it again. The fight where Oliver burst out crying. That was a rematch, but Lennox got the title back. Okay. Now, he had 2 fights against Evander Holyfield, both in 1999, right? And the first was a very controversial draw, right? I thought Lennox won that one. Then in the second one, that's when he became the undisputed heavyweight champion. He had the WBC and the WBA, okay, and the IBF. WBO wasn't a thing yet. WBO was around, but the other 3 wasn't recognizing it at the time as a legitimate major title. So we had the WBA, WBC, and the IBF was undisputed then 3 belt. Joe in the building. What's up, Joe? Salute. Uh-oh. Joe said, let's get ready to defend Riddick. Bruce Gas. Boxing, Jazz, and more. I had to look to see which Bruce Gas it was. Whether it was the Cannabis Entertainment Bruce Gas. Today it's the Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. Salute Bruce Gas. And salute Joe. Okay. Like I say, birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. I like it when I see these boxing historians come over here, man. I love it. Let's salute Joe, Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. All of them, Al Booker, Mike Mason, RP, out of New Jersey. Miss Cass in here too. Okay. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. I didn't say Lonnie because I saw how close he was to 2:30. I forgot he came in here earlier. Lonnie's here already. Salute, Lonnie. Okay. Now, yeah, where were we again? Okay. Yeah, Lennox, okay, the Holyfield fight. He became undisputed, 3 belt undisputed after the second Holyfield fight, right? The first one was very controversial draw. Very controversial draw, okay? And in 2000, the WBA stripped Lennox of their title when he chose to face Michael Grant instead of mandatory challenger John Ruiz, okay? And then in 2002, the IBF stripped him because he chose not to face their mandatory challenger, which at the time was Chris. And then, and we all know the Hasim Rockman situation. Lennox was knocked out by Hasim Rockman. And that was another upset. That was 2001. But it was avenged later in that same year. Okay, came back and beat Hasim in the rematch. Now, like I said, we're going to go in more deeper into all these fights. Now, in 2002, he defeated Mike Tyson. And that was one of the most highly anticipated fights in boxing history, him and Mike. And prior to the fight, Lennox was awarded the Ring Magazine's heavyweight title. And that had been discontinued in the late 1980s. Okay? And then in what would be his last fight, Lennox beat Vitaly Klitschko. That was a brutal and bloody fight. That was in 2003. And then he vacated his remaining titles and retired from boxing in 2004. Okay. Now, Lennox often referred to himself as the pugilist specialist, okay? And he fought out of the orthodox stance. He had a total of 44 fights, right? He won 41, lost 2, had 1 draw during his career. 44 fights. He was 6 foot 5 inches tall, had a reach of 84 inches, and he weighed about 245 during his boxing prime, right? And regarded by many as one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, and definitely one of the greatest British fighters of all time. Lennox the Lion Lewis, okay? Oh, shoot. Okay. We got cannabis education and entertainment TV in the building too. Appreciate you, Bruce Gas. Yeah, I got double views today. Yeah, The Rock did do a number on him, Joe. He sure did. We're gonna go over that. Now let's look at Lennox's early life. Okay, early life. Now, like I said, he was born on September 2nd, 1965 in West Ham, London, to Jamaican parents. And according to his mother, Lennox would often fight other children when he was growing up. Now, when he was born, he weighed 10 pounds and 10 ounces. That was a big baby. Okay, 10 pounds, 10 ounces. And the doctor gave him his name, Lennox, okay, because the doctor said he looked like a Lennox. Now, he moved to Canada with his mother in 1977. He was 12 years old. He attended Cameron Heights Collegiate Institute for high school and excelled in Canadian football, which is soccer. We call it soccer here, and basketball, right? And soccer's already started up in the Olympics. Yeah. United States men, the women play, I don't know what they did, but I know the men lost their first match, which I think it was Wednesday, right? But he excelled in soccer in high school and basketball, right? In the 1982-83 school year, he helped the schools triple the same school. What was the name of it again? Cameron Heights Collegiate Institute. That was the high school they went to. He helped them win the AAA basketball title in the Ontario Provincial Championship. Yeah. 6'5". He was a pretty good very good basketball player. And Lennox was a very decorated amateur too. Let's take a look at his amateur career. Okay. Look at Lennox's amateur career. Okay. Ooh, the lights are looking good already. Appreciate it. Okay. Now, he eventually decided that he was going to be a boxer, right? Like I said, he was good in basketball, soccer, but he decided to take boxing as a sport. Remo doing a lot of texting. That's where you keep hearing that noise. In this chat we got. Stop it, Remo. He should be in here listening to the show. Doing all that texting. He probably listening to. Now, his amateur career, like I said, he decided to take up boxing, right? Now, he became a dominant amateur boxer and won the gold medal in the Junior World Championships in 1983. Then at age 18, he represented Canada in the super heavyweight division at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, California. And by that time, he was ranked number 6 in the world by the Amateur International Boxing Association, number 6. Now in 84, he advanced to the quarterfinals, and he lost by decision to Tyrell Biggs from the United States. And you know, Tyrell went on and won the gold medal, right? And despite being 6'5" tall and having a very strong punch, Lennox coaches admitted they had to pressure him to convert his size and raw talent into aggression. Okay. And the coaches he had that guided him to the 1988 gold medal was Arnie Boone, Bain and Adrian. Adrian, last name starts with a T, okay? I don't even know why I did that. Now Lennox gets talking about his fights against this Cuban boxer, Jorge Luis Gonzalez. He fought him twice in '87, lost the first fight. He said, I think in the first fight, I was just trying to knock him out, trying to prove my stuff, because a lot of people thought the Cubans were unbeatable. I didn't think so at all. I just wanted to go out there and prove it by knocking him out. I guess that was a bit too much. I should have stuck to my natural talent and just boxed. And that was him talking about his 2 fights against Jorge Luis Gonzalez. And he said that in August '87, but he fought him twice that year. He lost the first one. He won the second one. Yeah, Joe. He beat Lennox once and Lennox beat him once. Yep. Now, Lewis chose not to turn professional like was after the Olympics in '84. Okay, he went on for 4 more years so he could get another shot at the gold medal in '88, right? Now, at the 1986 World Championships, he lost in the preliminary rounds to Peter Stoyanov of Bulgaria. And later that year, he won gold at the Commonwealth Games, okay? He had a close fight against Jorge Luis Gonzalez at the 1987 Pan American Games, super heavyweight finals, right? That was the one he lost. The American judge scored the fight in favor of Lewis, 60 to 57. But the judges from the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and Uruguay, amateurs have 4 judges. They all scored the fight 59-58 for Gonzalez. But he avenged that loss shortly after that, okay? He beat him when they were fighting for the North American amateur title. And the second fight was only 8 days later. Because amateurs is only 3 rounds, sometimes they fight 2 times in like 2 or 3 days, Yeah, only 3 rounds, right? After winning several more amateur titles in the following years, he went to Seoul, South Korea for the 1988 Summer Olympics. And he achieved his goal, won the gold medal final. He defeated Riddick Bowe for the second round referee stoppage, okay? Lewis became the first super heavyweight gold medalist to become world heavyweight champion as a professional boxer, okay? Wow, I did not know that. See, I'm learning too. There's Mike Grimm in the building. What's up, Mike? How are you today? I got too many papers. Where are my names? Oh, there they go. I'm getting ready to put Mike Grimm on the name with the guys that Lennox Lewis fought. You didn't fight Lennox Lewis, did you, Mike? No, Mike Mazik was a boxer. Okay. Yeah, Lennox, okay, I keep losing my place now. I'm on cast. Get it together. Yeah, he went to Seoul. He put his amateur career on hold for 4 years after he fell short of the goal in '84 to go back in '88, and he achieved his goal, won the gold medal over Riddick Bowe, remember? And during the closing ceremonies, Lennox was Canada's flag bearer, right? And he became the first Canadian to win the gold medal in 56 years. So that's like what, 1952? Yeah, wow. No, 1932. Wow, that's a long time. I think 32 might have been in LA too. So the last Canadian won it in LA, and Lennox also won is in LA. I think 1932 was in Los Angeles. Yeah. Terrell Cameron. What's up, Terrell? How are you today? The life and career of Lennox Lewis. Okay. Now he's all set to turn professional. Okay, let's look at Lennox Lewis's professional career. Early career. Okay. Now, having won his gold medal, that was his goal. That's why he did an extra 4 years as an amateur. He declared himself a professional and he moved back to England. Okay, he claimed he had always considered himself British, but one article reported that many British fans regarded him as a Canadian at heart and a British Britain for convenience. In 2015, Lennox explained, "When I turned professional, I had to go to the United Kingdom in order to pursue my career. Infrastructure to develop boxers wasn't in Canada at that time." Okay. Now, Lennox signed with boxing promoter Frank Maloney, and his early professional career was filled with knockouts of journeymen, as well as fighters such as Arvaldo Acasio. Okay. Now let's look at the British Commonwealth and European champion when he won those titles. Okay. After he signed with American promoter Main Events, he won the European heavyweight title in 1990 against Frenchman Jean-Maurice Charnet. And his next fight in March 1991, he won the British title against undefeated world rank Gary Mason. And in April 1992, he won the Commonwealth title against Derek Williams. And he was a top 5 world heavyweight. And during this period of his career, he also defeated former WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver. Yeah, Mike was on the downside at that time. Yeah. Oh, that was old Mike Weaver. Yeah, Joe. Okay. Yeah, he beat Mike Weaver, but yeah, that wasn't the Mike Weaver. You know, the ones that us old heads know. And he also beat 1984 Olympic gold medalist Tyrell Biggs. That's who he lost the gold medal to in 1984. He avenged that. And former world cruiserweight title holders Glenn McCrory, Levi Phillips, and Mike Dixon. Okay. Yes, I don't know why I got the Godfather in here. I don't even know what he's doing. There was something that, oh, you know what? Excuse me for 1 minute again. Yeah, when I was talking about promoters. Okay. That's him and Razor Reddick. Okay. On October 31st, 1992, Lennox knocked out Canadian Donovan Razor Reddick in 2 rounds for the #1 contender position in the WBC ranking, right? And it was his most impressive win to that point in his career. It established him as one of the world's best heavyweights. And sportscaster Larry Merchant declared, "We have a great new heavyweight." Okay. Now, let's talk about his first reign as the WBC heavyweight champion. Okay. Now, the win over Razor Reddick made Lewis the mandatory challenger for Riddick Bowe. Okay. That's when that situation was coming around. Here's Riddick. The win over Razor Reddick made him the mandatory challenger. Riddick had the WBC title at that time, right? Now, Bowe held a press conference during which he threw his WBC title belt in a rubbish bin, in a trash bin, right? Relinquishing it to avoid a mandatory defense against Lennox. On December 14th, 1992, the WBC declared Lennox its champion, okay? Making him the first world heavyweight title holder from Great Britain in the 20th century. Wow. Yeah, that's how that situation went. Bowe held the press conference, threw the belt in the trash, so the WBC took it away from him and gave it to Lennox. That's how he became WBC heavyweight champion. They say that nonsense nowadays about the email champion or something. But the man wouldn't fight him. What was the WBC supposed to do? That's what they're supposed to do, but they don't do that nowadays. They just let people avoid mandatories and you know, that's no script, but that's how it's supposed to work. Just like it did in that situation. Okay, let's talk about Lennox and Oliver McCall 1. Okay. Oliver McCall won. Now, he lost his title to Oliver McCall. Now, that's Frank Bruno right there. No, that's McCall. Yeah. And that's McCall after he beat him. Right there, jumping off the ropes. That's Oliver. Okay. Now, okay. He lost his WBC title to Oliver McCall on September 24th, 1994, in a huge upset. And this was at Wembley Arena in London. In the second round, McCall landed a powerful right cross. We talked about that Monday, the cross. That was the punch of this week, the right cross. Powerful right cross, putting Lewis on his back. Now, Lennox got up, right, at the count of 6, but he stumbled forward right into the referee in a daze. And referee Jose Guadalupe Garcia, he felt Lennox was unable to continue, and he called the fight, giving McCall the title by technical knockout, right? Now, Lewis and his team argued that the stoppage was premature and that a champion should be given the benefit of the doubt. And in spite of the Lewis camp protest, Boxing Monthly editor Glenn Leach pointed out that Lewis only seemed to recover his senses once the fight was waved off, and that, in the opinions of everyone he spoke to at ringside, the decision was correct. Yeah, you know, Lennox said that after the fight, when he had got his senses back. But the referee did that. So I've seen that fight, and the referee did the right thing because Lennox was done. If he'd let that fight continue, he could have suffered some serious damage because he was in bad shape. When he got up, he ran right into the referee. He had no idea where he was at. So yeah, I think that was a good stop. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat. Great boxing didn't duck anything. Wanted all the smoke. You are 100% right, Terrell. 100% right. 100% right. So yeah, I think it was a good stoppage. Now, after the fight, Lennox decided he needed a new trainer to replace Pepe Correa. Yeah, he got rid of his trainer. There's Pepe right there. That's the trainer that Lennox fired. And he got a legendary trainer after that, man. Yeah. Yeah, after the fight, he decided he needed a new trainer. Okay. And Pepe denounced Lennox in the press after he fired him, right? Losing the daggone place, man. Yeah, he denounced Lewis in public after being fired. And this is who Lennox went and got after he fired Pepe. Yeah. Excellent move. Emmanuel Stewart, okay? Emmanuel Stewart. And renowned trainer Emmanuel Stewart, who had been McCall's trainer during the fight, right? When McCall knocked Lennox out, he went and got Emmanuel, who had been McCall's trainer, right? During the first fight. And he was Lewis's choice to manage him after he fought Pepe Correa. Now, even before the fight with McCall, Emmanuel Stewart had been seeing much potential in Lennox and immediately expressed the desire to work with him to correct several of Lewis's technical flaws, right? Some of the flaws he corrected included maintaining a more balanced stance, less reliance on his cross, and a focus on using a strong, authoritative jab, the latter of which would become a hallmark of Lennox's style throughout the rest of his career. Yeah, man, Emmanuel fixed that jab, man. Lennox became known for that jab, remember? And the partnership with Emmanuel lasted until Lennox retired, okay? So now excuse me, let's look at when he got the WBC title back, okay? Okay, Joe said, wasn't it Tyson who said trainers are like horse? They would go with anyone for the right money. Yeah, that was Mike. Joe, correct. Yeah. Yeah. You know, that was Mike. That sounds just like Mike. Excuse me. I got to get me some water. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. But I appreciate you rocking with me. Appreciate you hitting the like button, too. They looking good. Maybe we'll get 40 today. My record is 43. Okay, we're approaching Lennox's second reign as WBC heavyweight champion. Okay, 3 o'clock. Y'all know I only been on here for 10 minutes. Come on. Now, in his first comeback fight after the McCall loss, Lewis was given a chance to fight for the mandatory challenger position within the WBC. And he won it by knocking out American contender Lionel Butler. But at the behest of promoter Don King, the WBC bypassed Lennox and gave Mike Tyson the first chance at the title, right? It was recently won by Frank Bruno from McCall. After McCall beat Lennox, Bruno beat McCall, and Lennox won the fight for the number 1 position. But Don King convinced the WBA to give the first shot at Bruno to Mike Tyson, right? So, and Bruno had previously lost to both Lennox Lewis and Mike, right? So Lennox had the number 1 slot in the WBC rankings when he knocked out Justin Fortune. Then he beat former WBO champion Tommy Morrison, October 1995, right? And he also won the minor IBC title, International Boxing Club, right? And then that fight was followed by a close majority decision over Olympic gold medalist and former WBO champion Ray Mercer in May 1996. And then Lewis sued to force Tyson to take his mandatory defense against him, and he was successful in it, right? And Lennox was offered $13.5 million guaranteed to fight Tyson to settle the lawsuit, but he turned it down, right? And this could have been Lewis. This would have been his highest purse to date, right? And he turned down the 13.5 to fight Mike, and he accepted $4 million from Don King to step aside, and Tyson fought Bruce Seldon instead. And that Bruce Seldon fight, that was the night that Tupac got killed. Tupac was at that fight, right? And he got killed later that night, out there in Vegas, yeah. And Lewis took the $4 million step aside from Don King, and along with a guarantee that if Tyson beat Seldon, Lennox would be Tyson's next fight. So that was a good move. Got $4 million and a guarantee. But, a guarantee for Don King don't mean shit, man. But at least he got the $4 million. But I think he did get the fight, too. But y'all know that a guarantee from Don King. What that mean? Nothing. Okay. But he did get the $4 million and a guarantee that he was going to be next. And Tyson, he did win. After winning the WBA title from Seldon, guess what happened? Told you about them guarantees from Don King. Tyson relinquished the WBC title to fight Evander Holyfield instead. Told you. And the WBC title was declared vacant. So that was what set up the rematch between Lennox and McCall, right? So the rematch was on February 7th, 1997 in Las Vegas, right? And this is for the WBC title, okay? So he didn't get that guarantee that Don King made that he would fight Tyson next, but he did. His next fight was for the WBC title because Tyson vacated it. That's when he fought Holyfield, and Lennox got his rematch with McCall. With McCall. There they are. Now this fight was on February 7th, 1997 in Vegas. Now, like I was telling you in the opening of the show, this was one of the strangest fights in boxing history, right? Now, McCall had lost the first 3 rounds of the fight. Then in the 4th and 5th rounds, he refused to fight. And then he began crying, right? He began crying. There he is. And the referee was forced to stop the fight and give the win to Lewis. Right? Yeah, Oliver he lost the first 3 rounds. He wouldn't fight in the 4th and 5th, and then he just started crying. So the referee stopped the fight. Here's Oliver, up close. See the tears coming down his face? It looked like his brother on the right. Don't they look like him? Yeah. Like he leaning on, like, what the fuck wrong with you, man? Yeah, the other guys too. Lean on him. But that was very crazy, man. Very crazy. Okay. So now, yeah, Lewis is the champion again. Got the WBC back as the newly recrowned WBC champion. He successfully defended his title in 1997 against fellow Brit and former WBO world champion Henry Akawande. I think that's right, Akawande. Okay, and Akawande got disqualified after 5 rounds for excessive holding. Then he met Poland's Andrew Galata. Remember Andrew? One that hit, I think that was what hit Riddick low in both fights. Purposely. Blatant low blows. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah, you remember that? Terrell? That was something, wasn't it? Yeah, he just burst out crying, man. But after he fought Andrew Galata, knocked him out in the first round, right? Then, 1998, he knocked out lineal champion Shannon Briggs. Shannon had just that was the fight after Shannon had that controversial fight with George Foreman. Remember, where George had won that fight, but they gave it to Shannon. That was one of the most controversial fights of all time too. And Holyfield knocked out Briggs after that, right? To become the lineal champion. Briggs was lineal champion. Okay. And then he beat formerly undefeated European champion Ziko Marovic from Croatia. That was a 12-round unanimous decision. Then Lewis said in 2006 that his fight with Marovic was the most awkward win of his career. I don't know why he said that. Okay. So now comes the Holyfield situation. Okay, that's Briggs there. Okay, that's Holyfield 1. Okay, undisputed heavyweight champion Lewis versus Evander Holyfield. Okay, everybody hit the appreciation button, please. Support the grind. Support the grind. The like button don't cost anything. It ain't like you got to hit that $sign down there and send a super chat or hit the Cash App. The like button is free, right? And I know all my people's always hit it. I do pretty good on the likes. My likes is always 100%. I appreciate it. But Lewis versus Holyfield. Now on March 13th, 1999, he faced WBA and IBF title holder Evander Holyfield in New York City. And I think Lewis had the WBA and the WBC. This was supposed to be for undisputed, right? Now, Lewis fought a tactical fight against Holyfield. Kept him off balance with that long jab because Emmanuel Stewart made that jab legendary when he took over with Lennox. Because he had an 84-inch reach. So he kept Holyfield off balance with his jab, and he peppered him with combinations, almost at will. Now, most observers at ringside believe Lewis had clearly won the fight, but the fight was declared a draw, right? Very controversial. And the raw statistics of the fight suggested the fight belonged to Lennox, who landed 348 punches compared to Holyfield's 130. Now, comp box is it's not no computerized thing, just people hitting buttons. But listen to this. I don't know why I keep losing my place. Lewis landed 348 to Holyfield's 130. That much of a disparity, man. Got to be something to that, right? That's over 200 more punches, okay? And Lewis also out-jabbed Holyfield. Check this out. 137 to 52, okay? Now, oh, Lord, Eugenia Williams. I know y'all know about her. Judge Eugenia Williams, who scored the fight in Holyfield's favor, said she saw Lewis land fewer punches than Holyfield. Now, what the hell was she looking at? Eugenia Williams. They should have been barred her from judging way before that, man, because she done did some doozies. Her and that other lady. The other lady's husband is a referee. I can't remember her name. Bird, Adelaide Bird. Her husband is Robert Bird, the referee. She's also terrible, man. I don't know if it's got anything to do with women judging, but they both are terrible. Did you hear what I just said? Lewis landed 348 total punches to Holyfield's 130. 137 jabs to Holyfield 52. And this lady judge said she saw Holyfield land more punches than Lewis. What was she doing, her nails or something during the fight? Taking a nap in the bathroom? Come on, man. But Lewis Holyfield too. He got his revenge. Okay? There's Lewis Holyfield too. Now the sanctioning bodies ordered a rematch. Okay, all of them. Because all the belts was tied up in those fights. And after that, man, they ordered the rematch. All of them. 8 months later in Las Vegas, November 13th, 1999, they fought again, right? And this was more entertaining than the original fight because they had some heavy exchanges between 6 and 9, the middle rounds. And the punch stats, however, still clearly favored Lewis. This time he landed 195 punches to Holyfield's 137, a little closer. And Lewis landed 119 power shots, 76 jabs, showing a definite shift in his tactics from the first fight when he focused more on the jab. And this time the 3 judges scored the fight unanimously. 115, 113, 116, 112, and 117, 111. And Eugenia Williams wasn't nowhere near the place, okay? She wasn't even allowed to attend. I don't know about that, but she wasn't judging it. She shouldn't have been. And all of it was Lewis unanimously. And he became undisputed heavyweight champion of the world at that point. Okay. And this publication, the British public voted Lennox Lewis the BBC Sports Personality of the Year after that fight. Okay. Yeah. Voted him Sports Personality of the Year after he became undisputed. Lewis Holyfield too. Okay, let's continue on. Sports Personality of the Year. That was quite an honor. Now, let me flip the page on the back. I guess it's good. Okay, Terrell says a lot was going on in the world, but you still remember that, Terrell? Yeah. Okay. Now Lewis, he did not view either fight with Evander Holyfield as among his most difficult, but he conceded that Holyfield tested his limits more than any other boxer. So I don't understand that statement. He said neither of Holyfield fights was his most difficult, but Holyfield tested his limits more than any other. Isn't that like most difficult, right? I think. Am I reading that wrong? But he said, people seem to be genuinely surprised when I tell them Holyfield was my toughest opponent. Wait a minute now. He said he did not view either Holyfield fight as his most difficult. But anyway, he said, people seem to be genuinely surprised when I tell them Holyfield was my toughest opponent. Not to be confused with my toughest fight, which was Ray Mercer. But when you really dive into why that is, it actually makes a lot of sense. I don't understand that at all. One is your toughest opponent, one was your toughest fight. What's the difference? I don't understand that. But anyway, let's continue. Now, he's the unified heavyweight champion now. After Lewis defeated Holyfield, the WBA ordered him to defend his title against John Ruiz from Massachusetts. And at that time, John Ruiz was an obscure Don King fighter who had been made the WBA's #1 ranked contender. See, Don King had all kinds of shit with him, man. All of a sudden, this guy become the #1 contender out of nowhere. Just like that guy Steve Claggett, Teofimo fought, just magically got into the top 10 when he signed to fight Teofimo. Yeah, that kind of stuff was going on back then too, especially with Don King. Now, the WBA gave Lewis permission to fight his WBC mandatory Michael Grant first. Okay. And there's him and Michael Grant right there. There's Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant. Now the WBC gave him permission to fight Michael Grant first. Okay. Now that was on the conditions that he would have to fight Ruiz next, right? To which Lewis agreed. Now Don King was opposed to that. He challenged this decision, right, in court on the basis of a clause in the Lewis Holyfield rematch contract that said Lewis's first fight as undisputed champion would be against the WBA's #1 contender. And King pulled strings and got Ruiz moved up there, and that's who he wanted him to fight. Now Lewis was therefore to be stripped of his WBA belt if he fought Grant first instead of Ruiz. It was because of this that the WBA stated its super champion title, giving unified title holders who also hold the WBA belt more time to defend against mandatory challenges. Okay, so the WBA put that in there. If you're unified and one of them is the WBA, you get more time for your mandatories. Okay. So Lewis went on and fought Grant. And Grant is 6'7", right? And Lewis considered Grant to be the best contender available at that time. And he successfully defended the WBC, IBO, and IBF titles against Grant with a second round knockout. And this was in the Garden, Madison Square Garden, April in 2000, okay? Now later that same year, he knocked out South African Francois Botha in 2 rounds. This fight was in London. Then he won a 12-round unanimous decision against mandatory opponent David Tua. That was in Vegas. Now so I guess he never fought Ruiz, okay? Now we come to the Rockman situation, okay? Yeah, that's him and Rockman. Yeah, that's him and Rockman. Lewis versus Rockman. Okay. Okay. Take a drink. Excuse me for a minute. Lewis versus Rockman situation. Rockman on the left, Lewis on the right. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Appreciate you sticking in there with me. I can't believe it's 3:17. I only been on here about 10 minutes. How can it be 3:17 already? Okay, Lewis versus Rockman. On April 21st, 2001, Lewis was knocked out. And guess what? Rockman was a 20-1 underdog, right? He was knocked out by a 20-1 underdog, Hasim Rockman, in a fight at Carnival City Casino in South Africa, right? And the main event actually took place on Sunday because it was 5 o'clock over here in the States, right? The next morning. And that was done in order to accommodate HBO's significant United States audience, right? Now, Japan don't do that. Japan said, if you want to watch our fights, you got to watch them on our time. They don't cater to Western time. So that's why you're always watching the monster like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. But I always get up and watch him though, yeah, because that guy is exciting, man. Now, and this week, today is the anniversary of Monster vs. Stephen Fulton, July 26, 2023, remember? And it was on a Tuesday, but it was on the 26th, remember? Today is the anniversary of that fight. Yeah. Bud Earl is July 29th. Remember, it's only a couple of days later. Yeah. Yep. Today's the anniversary. Let me see. Terrell's BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? How are you today, bro? BN Boxing News. Another fire JBT channel. We're loaded over in this JBT, man. They know about the JBT now, too. But salute BN Boxing News. Good to see you today, my brother. Okay, what is Terrell talking about? Terrell says, Holyfield was a dog, period. Made me cry after fighting the boxer on Mike Tyson. He was sick, yeah. Yeah, Rockman, he was a 20-1 underdog in that first fight, though. Yeah, but they did have the rematch. But yeah, Rockman knocked him out. He knocked Lewis out, 20-1 underdog, right? And yeah, it was on. Fight was on Saturday there, but it was on the Sunday morning here. Okay. And before the fight, Lennox had played in that movie, Ocean's 11, right? And he boxed against Vladimir Klitschko in that movie. He boxed his brother in really. That was his last fight. But him and Rockman did have a rematch. There's two. Lewis Rockman 2. That's one. Wait a minute. I might have yeah, I think I got both ones. I didn't get two. Let me see. They dressed the same. No, yeah, that is two. Yeah, I'm right. Lewis had on white in both fights, but see, Rockman changed his outfit. See? Yeah, that's two. Right. Okay. Lewis versus Rockman 2. This is when he made his second reign as unified heavyweight champion. Now, he immediately sought a rematch with Rockman, right? But now being promoted by Don King to secure another opponent for his inaugural title defense, Lewis took Rockman to court to honor the rematch clause in their contract. Rockman was ordered to honor the clause and give Lewis a rematch in his first title defense. Now, while promoting the rematch with Rockman on ESPN's Up Close, the fighters got into a brawl similar to the one between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier when they were being with Howard Cosell on Wide World of Sports back in the 70s. Wow. Now, Lewis did regain the title November 17th by outclassing and then knocking out Rockman in the fourth round of their rematch. So Lewis got Rockman knocked him out in the first one. He got his get back in the second one. He returned the favor. Yeah, that was huge when he came in as a 20-1 underdog, Terrell, and knocked him out, man. Yeah, that was huge. Yeah. Okay, now we come to Lewis and Tyson situation. I still can't believe how late it is, man. Been on here 15 minutes, and an hour went past. Lewis versus Tyson. June 8th, 2002. He defended his title against Iron Mike Tyson. Now, ticket sales were slow because they were priced as high as $2,400, right? But a crowd of 15,327 people turned up to see the fight, right? And at the time, it was boxing's biggest event, and it was at the Pyramid Arena in Memphis, Tennessee, right? And Tyson had to pay Lewis $335 out of his bag because at the news conference, remember, I know Terrell remember this, he bit Lennox. Remember, Mike had a thing for biting people, right? So Mike had to pay Lewis $335,000 out of his purse, right? And now in the fight, by the end of the seventh round, Tyson was tired and sluggish. His face was swollen and his eyes cut. And the next round in the eighth, he was knocked out by a right cross. Now, after the fight, George Foreman declared, Lewis is no doubt the best heavyweight of all time. Now, come on, George, I wouldn't go that far. And you fought Ali and Frazier. Come on, George, and Norton and all that. Lord George said, Lewis is no doubt the best heavyweight of all time. What he's done clearly puts him on top of the heap. Nah. George was just excited from just seeing him knock Mike out, and but George didn't mean that. They should have asked him like a couple of days later. George didn't mean that, no. And this was the highest grossing event in pay-per-view history at that time, generating $106.9 million, 1.95 million pay-per-view buys. Okay? But it was surpassed by De La Hoya Mayweather in 2007, right? And that was passed later on too. And both fighters were guaranteed $17.5 million in this fight. Okay? Yeah. I had to put Don King in there. There he is. I don't know why. Okay. Then we come to not Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly, his brother. His brother. Okay. What you say, Terrell? Now you're a crybaby with this fight. Okay. Now, yeah, I believe this was his last fight, right? Lewis versus Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko. Now, he was forced to vacate the IBF title in 2002 after refusing to face mandatory challenger Chris Bird. Then in May 2003, he sued boxing promoter Don. Him and Don King had a lot of back and forth. In 2003, he sued Don King for $385 million. Wow. Claiming that Don King used threats and bribery to have Tyson pull out of a rematch with Lewis and a fight on the card of a Lewis title defense. Wow. Yeah, because him and Tyson never had the rematch. That would have been big too, because that was a big money fight. I don't know why Don wouldn't want that. All the money he stood to make in that, yeah. And Lewis scheduled a fight with Kirk Johnson for June, but when Johnson suffered an injury in training, Lewis fought Vitaly Klitschko. And Vitaly was the WBC's #1 contender at the time. And he was a former WBO champion, okay? Now, Lewis had planned to fight him in December, but since Klitschko had been on the undercard of the Johnson fight, they agreed to square off on June 21st, okay? Now, Lewis entered the ring at a career high, 256.5 pounds. Wow. I think he usually fought, what was it, like 235, something like that. Woo, 256. It was time to hit. You can tell when it's time because fighters start blowing up like that. And that was his last fight. Now, he was dominated in the Lennox was dominated in the early rounds and was wobbled in round 2 by solid Klitschko punches. And he opened a cut above Klitschko's eye with a right cross in the 3rd round. And he gave a better showing from the 4th round forward. Now, with both fighters looking tired before the start of round 7, the doctor advised that the fight should be stopped because of a severe cut above Klitschko's left eye. And referee stopped it, gave Lewis the victory by TKO. And guess what? At the time of the stoppage, Klitschko was leading on all 3 cards, 58-56. Okay, but that's close, right? And it was the 7th round, so that don't mean a lot. They still had 5 more rounds to go. But Klitschko was leading by 2 points on all 3 cards, right? At the time of the stoppage. And Lewis was guaranteed $7 million for this fight, and Klitschko made $4 million, okay? And the gate was $2.5 million for this fight. Attendance of 16,000 people. 15,939. I might supposed to say 16,000. And this fight was at the Staples Center. And it aired on HBO's World Champion Boxing. Okay? And approximately 7 million viewers watched this fight. Now, interviewed about the fight by HBO Dr. Paul Wallace, the doctor explained his decision. He said, because a lot of people said it should have been stopped, but the doctor explained it. He said, when Klitschko raised his head up, his upper eyelid covered his field of vision. At that point, I had no other option but to stop the fight. If he had to move his head to see me, there was no way he could defend his way against a punch. Okay? And Klitschko's face required 60 stitches to close that cut. Wow. And because Klitschko had fought so bravely in this fight against Lewis, boxing fans soon began calling for a rematch. And the WBC agreed. And they kept Klitschko as his #1 contender. And Lewis initially was in favor of the rematch, right? He said, I want this rematch. I enjoyed the fight. It was just a fight. We went at it. You have to pay dollars and cents. But I'm opting more for the rematch. Okay? Now, negotiations for the rematch followed, but Lewis changed his mind. Instead, Klitschko fought and defeated Kirk Johnson on December 6th. in a WBC eliminator, setting up a mandatory rematch with Lewis. And Lewis announced his retirement shortly after, in February 2004, to pursue other interests. So he never had that rematch, including sports management, music promotion, and he vacated the title. And Lewis said he would not return to the ring. And at his retirement, his record was 41 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, 32 by way of knockout. Okay? So let's look at Lennox after retirement. See what his life was like after he left the ring. Okay. Now, in 2008, he was asked about a potential fight after being antagonized by Riddick Bowe. And ain't that something? After he retired, now Bowe want to fight him. And that's what Lennox said. Bowe waits until I'm in retirement to call out my name. And Lewis said, I will come out of retirement to beat his ass. I'll beat him up. He said he'll beat Bowe up for free. He didn't say ass. I put that in there. He said he would come out of retirement to fight Bowe, though. He said he'll beat him up for free. But that's crazy. Bowe threw the belt in the trash when Lewis was his mandatory. Then soon Lewis retires. He calls him out. It's kind of like Sugar Ray. Hadn't waited 15 months for the rematch. Once he gave up and retired, Sugar Ray came out of retirement a month later. Wow. In 2011, Bowe again confronted Lewis, this time over Twitter, demanding he put his gold medal on and let's fight for it. And Lewis remarked, I thought we already did that. Yeah, that's right. And Lewis worked as a boxing analyst for HBO on Boxing After Dark from 2006 until 2010. But isn't that something? You had a chance to fight the man. You threw your belt in the trash. Now the man retired. You keep calling his name out. Riddick Bowe was looking bad out here then, man. I like Riddick Bowe, but that's not a good look, man. Why didn't you call the man's name out while he was fighting? He was your mandatory. Don't tell me nothing about no money wasn't right. How's the money right after the man retired? So don't say the money wasn't right when he wouldn't fight him at first. The man retired now. Now you want to fight for a gold medal. Get out of here, Riddick Bowe. Let's look at Lewis's fighting style. Now, he was a classic upright boxer who beat opponents from the outside with his dominant 84-inch reach, especially after Emanuel Stewart worked on that jab with him. Now, Lewis's jab, which was often a pawing shot early in his career, became a formidable weapon under the tutelage of Emanuel Stewart, which Lewis used to set up his signature punch, the straight right hand, which we talked about Monday, remember? Under Emanuel Stewart, Lewis became less reliant on his right hand and displayed a more complete skill set. Criticized at times for being too patient and for his lack of infighting skills, Lewis was at his most effective when boxing from range. Now, known for his physical strength, Lewis was able to maneuver opponents in the punching range and was especially effective against taller opponents. Lewis eventually developed into one of the most complete heavyweights in history, able to box at range or fight aggressively when necessary, as well as being considered one of the hardest punchers of all time. Lennox the Lion Lewis. Look at his legacy, okay? Lennox the Lion Lewis. Now, Lewis was the 7th Olympic gold medalist to become world heavyweight champion after Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Leon Spinks, and Michael Spinks. That is good company there. Lennox holds the distinction of being the first professional heavyweight champion to win a gold medal in the super heavyweight division, which was not created until the 1984 Summer Olympics. He is also the only boxer to represent Canada at the Summer Olympics and subsequently win a professional world title, okay? Lewis was the first boxer to hold a British heavyweight title and subsequently win a world title. Although 3 fighters have since repeated this feat, Lewis was first. Also after Lewis was Herbie Hyde, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. Yeah, I didn't know about how I knew Josh Fury and Joshua. But only Lewis also won the Lonsdale belt outright. Now, I don't know what that is. What's the Lonsdale belt, anybody? Now, while struggling to achieve popularity and respect earlier in his professional career, Lewis's standing has increased since his retirement in 2003, and he is now considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Now, struggling to win the affection of the British public and facing indifference from an American audience, Lewis's body of work eventually established him as the dominant heavyweight of his time. He was the last undisputed heavyweight champion until May 2024, when Alexander Usyk defeated Tyson Fury. Yeah. Yep. And Lennox was 3 belts, though, I believe, right? Yeah. Appreciate everybody rocking with me today. Let's hit the appreciation button. Support the grind. Now, Lewis became one of only 2 boxers in history, and the first since Ken Norton in 1978 to have been awarded the heavyweight championship without actually winning a championship belt, when the WBC awarded him their title in 1992. Yeah, only him and Ken Norton. Ken got his when Leon Spinks. Ken Norton was Leon Spinks' mandatory after Leon Spinks beat Ali, but Leon chose to give Ali the rematch instead of fighting his mandatory Ken Norton. That's when the WBC stripped Spinks and gave to Norton. So him and Lennox is the only 2 to win the WBC, to win the heavyweight title. WBC heavyweight title without being any kind of heavyweight championship without actually winning it in the ring. And that was the time when the WBC had 4 in 4 months. Ali, then Spinks beat Ali. Norton was awarded it, and Holmes beat Norton. 4 champions in 4 months. Yep. Yeah, him and Norton. Now, yeah, this was due to Riddick Bowe in that situation. And then they told about the, where was it? This was due to Riddick Bowe relinquishing the title after failing to agree to defend the title against Lewis, who had become the mandatory challenger by defeating Donovan Riddick a few weeks earlier. In 2001, Lewis became the 4th boxer after Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, and Michael Moore to have held the World Heavyweight Championship on 3 different occasions. Lewis defeated 15 boxers for the World Heavyweight title, the 5th most in history. His combined 3 reigns tallied 3,086 days, 8 years, 5 months, and 13 days, which ranks as the 4th longest time spent as World Heavyweight Champion. His total of 14 successful defense ranks as the 5th highest in heavyweight history. At 4 years, 2 months, and 15 days, Lewis has the 12th longest reign in heavyweight championship history. As of May 2023, BoxRec ranks Lennox as the 5th greatest European fighter of all time. In 2018, Boxing News ranked Lewis as the 3rd greatest heavyweight of all time, behind Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis. Nah, I don't agree with that either. While acknowledging top 10, definitely top 10, but not number 3. No. While acknowledging that he could occasionally be vulnerable, the magazine stated that at his best, Lewis was as unbeatable as any heavyweight in history. In 2017, Boxing News also ranked Lewis as the 2nd best British fighter of all time, after Jimmy Wall. Now I agree with that. The great legendary Jimmy Wall. Yeah, he's the greatest British fighter of all time. Fought back around the 20s, around in there. Jimmy Wall, yeah, he was bad. In the same year, the Ring magazine ranked Lewis, my big finger, ranked Lewis as both the greatest heavyweight of the last 30 years and the joint 11th greatest heavyweight of all time. Now, I agree with that. I have him right around at 10, 11, somewhere in there. Yeah, he was 11th greatest of all time. They got a tie at 11 between him and Evander Holyfield, right? And they described Lewis as a giant who fought with finesse, who beat every available contender. Thomas Hearns stated that the idea of Lewis having no chin was a myth, citing his rising from the powerful punch from Oliver McCall, which Floyd Lewis was the first knockdown of his career, and suggesting that he was perhaps stopped prematurely. Okay, that's what Hearn said. Hearn also contended that the knockout punch from Sim Rockman in their first fight would have knocked out anyone. In 2003, the Ring ranked Lewis 33rd in their list of greatest punchers of all time. 33rd, okay. Wow. Now, along with Ingemar Johansson and Rocky Marciano, Lewis is one of 3 world heavyweight champions to have retired with victories over every opponent he ever faced as a professional, right? Unlike Johansson, who lost twice to Floyd Patterson after winning their first fight, Lewis is the only heavyweight to have avenged all his in-ring defeats. See, Rocky didn't avenge his in-ring defeats because he didn't have none. Okay? Lewis is also, along with Gene Tunney, Marciano, and Vitaly Klitschko, one of 4 heavyweight champions to have ended his career as world champion, and with a world title fight victory in his final fight. In 1999, Lewis was named Fighter of the Year by the Boxing Writers Association of America, as well as BBC Sports Personality of the Year. In 2008, Lewis was inducted in the Canada Sports Hall of Fame. In 2009, in his first year of eligibility, Lewis was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He was inducted into the Ontario Sports Hall of Fame also in 2012. Okay, personal life. Look at his personal life. Okay. Now, Lewis is a Christian. He's an avid amateur chess player and funded an after-school chess program for disadvantaged children, one of whom earned a university chess scholarship at Tennessee Tech. Lewis holds both British and Canadian citizenship. He married Violet Chang in 2005 after his retirement from boxing and has 4 children. There you have it. Lennox the Lion Lewis. Appreciate everybody rocking with me today. Hope you enjoyed that. In about 15 minutes, we will put another week of Cat Sports in the history books. Appreciate everybody rocking with me. Enjoyed it. We got the 3 cards tomorrow. Got the GOAT making her return to the ring after a year layoff. She's going in there against Vanessa Vesely Page Jonas. Vanessa is the WBC heavyweight champion. Vanessa returned last March after a 6-year layoff, right? And won the WBC title, and she's defended it twice last year. This will be her 3rd defense, one up against the GOAT. Okay, Vanessa has 2 knockouts. I think the GOAT has about 2. It's a safe bet to say that this fight will go the distance. Vanessa or the GOAT ain't knocking nobody out. I watch somebody get knocked out. But yeah, that's tomorrow. And then we got Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora also tomorrow. Okay. But yeah, Lennox had a fire resume too, man. Look at some of them. Donovan Razor Riddick Bowe, Frank Bruno, Oliver McCall, Shannon Briggs, Evander Holyfield. Just listen to the names on there, man. Michael Grant, Sim Rockman, Mike Tyson, Vitaly Klitschko. Yeah, very, very good resume by Evander. And you know what those guys did. I don't even have to look at their careers. But yeah, another big week of boxing history coming from Cat Sports next week. Okay? And got the Cat Sports phone line coming soon too. Okay? Working on that. And Joe says Bowe beat all he fought. Okay, Riddick Bowe. How many losses did he have? Riddick Bowe. Maybe not technically. The Mathis fight was a no contest. Yeah, I guess that's what they talking about, Joe. Yeah, they said Evander avenged all his losses. Yeah, Bowe did too, because he lost to Holyfield. I guess he did. Yeah, they just say him, Rocky Marciano, and who's the other one? Ingemar Johansson. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. Rocky Marciano, Evander, and no, Lennox Lewis and Ingemar Johansson. Yeah. And every man he lost to, he avenged it. Yeah. Rocky didn't do that because he didn't lose to nobody. Yeah, Rocky is one of my favorite heavyweights, man. Yeah. And he never fought over 200. But he was in an era of small heavyweights too. They had them big 6'7", 6'9", 280-pound giants fighting back in that era, man. No. And they didn't have a cruiserweight division then either. Cruiserweight wasn't invented for people like Rocky, Joe Frazier, because as we got up like toward the 80s and later, that's when we started to get those big giants at heavyweight. And they said it wasn't fair for them little guys, 180, 190, fighting them big giants. So they created cruiserweight, right? Marvin Camel was the first cruiserweight champion for the WBC and the IBF, I believe. Yeah. But that's when cruiserweight was invented for. Yeah. Because you had those heavyweight at the 175, it was heavyweight, right? And you had guys in the 180s, man, fighting at heavyweight, right? Because they couldn't get down below 175. You had to fight at heavyweight. Wasn't no cruiserweight. And they said, no, we can't have that. So they invented cruiserweight. What happened to bridgerweight? Remember they was talking about, WBC was talking about making bridgerweight from 200 to 225. And then 225 on up was heavyweight. But I just thought that was for money, more money. I mean, more divisions, more belts, more champions, more money, Yeah. But boxing is in good shape, man. And that a big August 3rd card. This fight week is next week, man. It's on us. Yeah. Bud Crawford and Madrimov. I got Bud stopping it. Okay. Bud is just that good, man. It's like him and Monster, man. They are 1 and 2, and then there's a big gap before 3 when it comes to pound for pound. And again, today is the anniversary of that shellacking between Monster and Cool Boy last year. It was July 26, 2023, remember? And then the 29th is the anniversary of the next shellacking that same week, Bud and Earl, right? And remember, I was saying that we talked about the combinations last week. That was a 1-2-3. Because he hit him with hit Cool Boy with that jab to the body. And then he caught him with a right cross, the old 1-2. And he added the left hook to it. Right? Lead hook. That's the 3. 1, 2, 3. Like I said yesterday, Bud hit the Earl with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, everything. On poor Earl, man. But Earl coming up against Fundora. So it'll be here before you know it. In that Loma situation, man, I don't know what to say about that, man. Not in the mood. Couldn't he have came up with something better, like I want to spend some time with my family or something? Not in the mood. God damn. How you be not in the mood? But all I say is get up off the belt. You're not in the mood, get up off the belt. Right? Because you're holding us up, man. We want a Shakur and Tank to be undisputed. We was hoping that Shakur could collect that one from Berinchek or whatever his name is, the other Ukrainian guy. And then imagine that, Shakur and Tank, the top 2 at 135, fighting for undisputed, man. But Loma is ruining it because he's not in the mood, but he's still holding on to the belt. Come on, man. Bud too. Bud talking about he want to go up there and fight Canelo. Go fight Canelo at 168, but leave your belt at 147, man. Come on. But see, these sanctioning bodies got to get involved. And somebody say they're not in the mood, strip him. Oh, man, can you do that? I mean, you're not in the mood to fight. Why the hell you hold on to the belt for then? Retire. But you know what it was. Loma watched that southpaw on southpaw between Tank and Frank Martin, right? And Loma was like, figured out nothing he can do to avoid that knockout. That's what he's not in the mood for, right? Because Loma has never been stopped. He's been on the mat in his career. I think, who was it? I think it was the guy. Was it Linares that put Loma down? But he's never been stopped. And And this was going to be vicious. And when you're in there with Tank, sometimes the referee don't have time to stop it, and your corner don't have time to throw the towel in, because Tank got that one-hitter-quitter type power, right? And 1 minute you did fight, the next minute you're on your back like Frank. You're on your back with your eyes looking crazy. So Loma didn't want to go out like that, What they call that thing? He didn't want to be man, put it in the chat, somebody. Oh, man. Just Do Boxing in the building. Yeah, Lennox, thank you, Just Do. Yeah, Lennox put Loma on the map, right? So Loma is messing things up, man. Tank could have got that, and Shakur might could have got that burn check fight and got the other one, and then each would have had two. And early 2025 went for undisputed. But I'm hearing that it might be Shakur in November, so that'll be good. That will be excellent. Yeah. I wanted it to be for undisputed though, but hey, you can't get everything. But we get the fight, so that'll be good enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that will be great. But yeah, these guys, man, not in the mood that you want to go up and fight somebody else and won't fight the guys in your weight division, but you got that belt, get up off the belt. That's all I say, man. It's only fair. You're not in the mood to fight. I mean, give the belt up. That's what y'all was fighting for. You're holding stuff up, man. Come on. That is lame, though, not in the mood. I never heard that before. I've been watching boxing since the 70s. I've never heard a fighter say he's not in the mood to fight. I done heard I'm going to spend some time with my family, or I'm injured or something, but I've never heard not in the mood before. Never, man. Not in the mood. That's crazy. But that's what it was, He saw Tank and Frank, and they're both southpaws, just like him and Tank would be, and he just knows that he headed toward a nap. And that's what he's not in the mood for, to take that nap. And I can't blame him. But just give the belt up, man. You're holding up progress. Right? What is he in the mood for? To fight the 15th ranked contender or something? Or fight George Campos? He was in the mood for that, wasn't he? Fight George Campos. Yeah, not in the mood. That's a new one. But another big week of boxing history has went past. We are getting ready to. Oh yeah, salute to Just Do Boxing in the building. Probably been in the building listening, Just Do listen. He's getting ready for 4 o'clock. Damn, it's almost that. Coming up in 8 minutes. And then we're going on over there after this. And then this is Friday too, so it's a big night in the JBT too. We got Just Do Boxing at 4. Then we got Jay Hardcore is back in the hangout tonight at 8 for the Friday night hangout. Anything happens in there, man. If you was watching last Friday, you will agree anything happens in that place. Wow. And then at 9 o'clock, we got the Mighty Rods podcast. And then at 10, we got the Angry White Men podcast. D1 and William Old School are right. Yeah, that's their name, Angry White Men. And they are angry too. Old School is always angry, and then D1 might not be angry, and then 30 seconds later, he angry. So yeah. Angry White Men podcast at 10. Fire new JBT show. Check it out at 10 o'clock. And yeah, like I was saying, the rest of the week, you see these videos on these channels. Participate, like, subscribe, comment. Don't just watch them. Like, subscribe, comment on them, man. I don't put out too many, but the other channels, like Let's Talk Fashion and BN Boxing News, they make a lot of videos. Like them and subscribe, make a comment. Just say what's up or something. Just comment. It all makes a difference. And support the grab, drop something in our cash apps or hit the $ down there, or it all helps out. And all money goes to the betterment of the channels, of our channels. Because they belong to all of us. Okay? But another week of boxing history, getting ready to go into the history books. Because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing. greatest sport of them all. Just Do Boxing. Terrell Cameron. Appreciate all your input into the chat today, Terrell, appreciate it 1,000%. Hope it's not your last time, bro. Hope to see you again. Mike Grimm, Bruce Gas Boxing, Jazz, and more, and Bruce Gas Cannabis and Entertainment TV. Both of them was in the building today. Appreciate it, Bruce Gas. Joe. Yeah, Joe always dropping gems in the chat. Lottie Lee, hashtag JBT. Al Booger, Mike Mazik, Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey, and Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Their owner, executive vice president, everything for Cass Sports. I'm just a lowly employee, okay? I'm the low man on the totem pole over here. But appreciate everybody rocking with me once again. I'll be back Monday. The punch of the week next week is the overhand. Like Ken Norton was piecing up Ali with it in that third fight. Wasn't a fight for him, but they didn't give it to him. Remember? But we got Just Do Boxing coming up next at 4 o'clock. Straight ahead, matter of fact. And I'm Cass Sports. I'll be back Monday at 2. Everybody have a great weekend. Just Do Boxing straight ahead. Cass Sports. I'm out.